So, friendship.
Friendship.
It's the... You actually hit me.
Welcome to Fresh Out. I'm Cude.
I'm JC.
And we're fresh out of friendship.
Friendship, starring Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd, shows us what happens when a man with no social awareness obsessively tries to befriend his neighbor at any cost. Are we going for it right now?
This is the review, dude. We're in there.
Ooh.
So, welcome to the Friendship Review. This movie is starring Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd.
Yep.
Tim Robinson is a neighbor of Paul Rudd's who gets a package to his door one day that is posted to Paul Rudd.
Yes.
And so he has to take it to him.
That's his in, right?
That's where they meet for the first time.
You start to see this character, Tim Robinson. It's exactly what you're expecting and hoping for. He's this very cringe, very...
Dude, Tim Robinson is spot on. I think you should leave.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Yes. So we'll say that I think the main takeaway here is if you're a I Think You Should Leave fan, you're going to love this.
Dude, you're going to extra love this.
Yeah.
This movie had so many, I wouldn't call them callbacks, but the characters that Tim Robinson plays in I Think You Should Leave skits, this is definitely that character.
And the characters he brings back, including our favorite Connor O'Malley.
Connor O'Malley's in it.
Right.
He does a short cameo.
You should be dead, you psycho! Who are you?
I wish it would have been a little longer.
Yes, we always do.
He's amazing. But his cameo was very memorable.
Yeah, absolutely.
To say the least.
Yeah.
So this movie is for people that like cringe acting.
Yes, cringe. I like that. Cringe acting. Yes. It's cringe comedy. It's cringe acting. It's when you take these kind of cringe comedy segments that we've seen, and I Think You Should Leave, and extend them out into a feature film.
Basically.
And I feel like it started off as a limited release, right? We kind of caught it when it was in that wide release.
And we were scared
window.
because because when we first looked up this movie, it was only at like the Century City.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
pretty
only
much
at one movie theater.
Seriously.
And I was like, dude, I'm not driving into LA. We live right outside of LA in a way better part of LA. So I'm like, yo, I want to see this movie, but I'm not driving into LA for this.
Okay, I don't know how I can. Oh my God, just grab the steering wheel. Fine! Ah!
And so it finally did a wide release, and we caught it before it was back out.
Yes.
Because it was very wide, short release.
Yeah, and I think it's a testament to the fandom, right?
Yes.
The ratings, at least that we've seen from
all the YouTube reviews I've seen are giving this movie the highest scores ever. This is a new decade of comedy.
And you know what?
This is the new revolution.
As far as what I would say about that cringe element, like I love the uncomfortableness of this because
JC is more of a fan.
I'm gonna say I'm super biased. And my review of this will be biased, but the Tim Robinson I Think You Should Leave fans will absolutely agree.
I will give the average reviewer. I will give the average viewer.
We talked a little bit after we got out, and we kind of
because he was super hyped up, and I felt kind of bad because I was just like,
with this one, it's not even about rewatchability; it's about watchability.
So I'm gonna rewatch it once it comes on streaming. I'm gonna rewatch it
because he's a fan of Tim Robinson too.
I love Tim Robinson. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But there are levels of Tim Robinson, I Think You Should Leave fans.
Yes.
Right? There are, because when we were walking out, so when we were in the theater, people were laughing at all the jokes. Every joke hit in the theater.
Yep.
But when we were walking out, I remember hearing like two chicks that were walking out with us. Mm-hmm. She said a 2 out of 10.
Wow.
She said a 2 out of 10.
No, that makes sense.
She was like, I didn't get it, 2 out of 10. And that was probably her girlfriend because whatever. They looked like they were on a date. But anyway, like, the one chick probably brought her girlfriend and was like, yo, I love this show. Let's go see this movie. And her girlfriend is like, I don't get
It's
it.
kind of when you go to see a stand-up comedian, right? And there's a significant other who doesn't know,
that
and you're like,
doesn't
"Hey,
really
come
know."
with me." And then it's like a bunch, like Shane Gillis.
Yeah, I was totally going to say Shane Gillis, dude.
Shane Gillis,
I
yeah.
was totally going to say that.
Yeah.
You go to a Shane Gillis show, you love it, and your significant other's just kind of like,
Like, this ain't it.
I don't know.
I don't
this
get this.
is my thing.
And I feel like I'm dumber for having watched this. That's kind of like how you might feel. Some people, if you're not, I think you should leave fan. You should not go.
Yeah,
That's
you
pretty
should
much
leave. You should leave.
You should probably leave too. But
yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say about this movie. This movie was very weird. It kind of reminds me of like Cable Guy. It kind of reminds me of that same thing.
Cable Guy. Yeah,
where
that's
it's
a good
like
comparison.
a new version of Cable Guy where one dude, Paul Rudd in this case instead of Matthew Broderick,
Yep.
he's the unsuspecting friend, or he wants to make a new friend, and he doesn't suspect that this guy is nuts.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're being nice to this guy who's, hooking you up, or maybe
It's a little
whatever.
awkward, he's a little off, but it's like, you know
You
what?
can't really tell, and you're like,
You
hey.
don't know until it hits the fan, and then
And all of a sudden you see the true colors.
poop
and
is
it's-
flying everywhere, and then you're just like, what? I should not have thrown that poop in the fan.
Yeah, whatever that means.
That's a new one. We're going with poop in the fan. Dude.
Yeah.
So I did not dislike this movie, but then at the same time, looking at it from an outside view of not being a fan of this type of comedy,
Yeah.
I definitely can see a lot of people not getting it,
Yeah.
not understanding the little nuances of the character. Like, it's so absurd. It's an absurd
super
movie.
absurd.
Yeah.
There is a lot of uncomfortability, we'll say, in this film.
So uncomfortable.
And,
dude.
like,
this is the most uncomfortable comedy.
Yes, but in
I've
the
ever
theater
seen.
we were in, fully packed, because I'm
Yeah.
sure it was a lot of Tim
Packed.
Robinson fans. So
Yeah.
that's really what it comes down
And
to.
everybody was laughing.
And they were. And I think with Tim Robinson's comedy, it's very polarizing.
Yes.
There's no in between. You either love it or you hate it, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's just like, there's no somewhere in between, like, oh, I think that's cool or whatever. It's like, you're either super passionate or you're just like, this
Yes.
doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand. This is making me uncomfortable. I can't deal with this.
I don't even want to be around anymore.
What?
So
Yes.
we had, I think because we had no walkouts in our theater, like that shows we had the fan
We've only
base.
had a walkout in The Crow, I feel.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Wasn't
Yeah,
it
yeah.
in The Crew?
I've seen a couple walkouts, but I feel like from way back when, like,
Yeah.
but at least as far as recent,
So
yes,
this
The Crow.
movie knows the audience that it's going for, and it delivers on
Yeah.
every single thing. If you are not the audience for this movie, you are not going to get this movie. You are going to be like, why do people like this form of comedy?
Yeah.
If you do like this form of comedy, you're going to love it.
So I think the
Straight
quote
up.
that was being advertised was like, "I love you, man, for sickos," or something like that. So I would say if it was called "I hate you, man," or "I love you and I hate you," like if you had both, titles for each person as far as how they feel about each other, or like "You're a weirdo, man," or like
Yeah.
"I'm uncomfortable around you, man." Any of those could work.
So this movie is so uncomfortable at times that it kind of takes away from the comedy for me.
Yes,
because
that's
it
fair.
goes
That's fair.
because when you have I think you should leave skits where they're like 3 minutes
Just
to
little
5
snippets,
minutes
right?
tops.
Yeah.
Like it can be super uncomfortable and you're feeling uncomfortable.
You sure?
When the uncomfortability goes for 2 hours, it kind of gets to a point where you're just like, is somebody going to kill somebody? Because like I was just waiting on something
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I was waiting on something. No spoilers or anything. Nobody dies, but like I was waiting on like some terrible stuff to happen because I was like it was escalating.
Maybe we can mute what he just said there. We'll
escalating.
just go.
But like it gets to an uncomfortable level where even as a fan, I'm just like, okay, dude, like this is getting a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And that is my one gripe for the movie was I think that this form of comedy works better in short spurts with different topics every spurt.
Yeah, that makes sense. But here's what I would push back on is, and this is, like I said, biased, very biased. When you
so
have that
biased.
uncomfortable feeling, to have people just sit in it and just
you're
like
sitting in it,
marinate
dude.
in that, dude.
You're
I actually
marinating,
love that.
dude.
That's great to me because it's like nobody's doing that nowadays.
Dude, it's like eating like a hot wing challenge on Hot Ones and then like wearing an adult diaper the next day and then just letting it loose
And
at
hanging
the
out with
office.
people. Yeah.
Letting it loose at the office and just stewing in it, dude.
Yeah, and being like,
This is
what's
that
wrong?
movie.
What's wrong?
You're just in your cubicle doing Excel spreadsheets or whatever you do at your job, and you're just stewing, dude.
And people are like, you sure about that?
You're sure about that? And then somebody opens the door from like a mile away, and you're like,
Hey, hold that door! Hold that door! Hold that door!
and you make them wait while you're just stewing.
Hold the door!
While you're just stewing in your diaper, dude. This is that movie. So the only thing that I was not really privy on was that it was a skit that was taken and extended.
That's fair.
It was funny all the way through, don't get me wrong, but for the average viewer,
Yes.
it's going to get tiresome and it's going to get to a point of cringe and uncomfortableness where you just are not in it anymore.
You'll either appreciate it or it'll make you sick.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
So, yeah, let's
score it up.
You want me to score it up, sir? All right. I can start it, but I'm
Well,
like I
I'm
said,
always the Debbie Downer, so you
So,
go first.
I'm gonna
You
be
go first to
biased.
hype up everybody.
I'm going to be biased, right?
Yeah,
we got
you
Paul
go
Rudd.
up.
Paul Rudd pretty much never fails.
Dude, spot on, dude.
Spot on, and especially for
Spot
the
on,
role,
dude.
yeah, he played it exactly the right way. Had a good level of he still has that Paul Rudd charisma that you want, and
He's a weatherman.
And he's a
We
weatherman.
We suck at our synopsises. I'm sorry, guys. We're trying to get this synopsis thing down, but it's just we
don't
immediately
wanna-
start steamrolling into.
we don't want to give
what
them
we
too much.
think
We'll
about.
let them watch it. We just want to tell them our
But
opinion.
he's a weatherman.
He's a weatherman.
He's
So,
a
of
weatherman,
course,
and
Paul
he's
Rudd,
new to
weatherman.
he's new to the neighborhood.
Anchorman 2.0.
60% of the time, it works every time.
And he's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
But yeah, so
yeah, what did you think?
So that said, right, we got Paul Rudd, we got Tim Robinson. That's all I need. There was a bunch. Kate Mara was awesome. I think it was Jack Dylan Grazer, the son. He was great.
What was the son in? I remember the son.
Yeah, he's from
something.
the It movies.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because I
And
saw
he
him
was
and I'm
also
like,
in
I
Shazam.
remember
He was
him.
also in Shazam.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. So, right, a couple different things. Yeah. That said, acting was great. Cringe was awesome. I'm going to give it a 9.
It's really, really good.
The acting was good.
Yeah.
The acting was
Because it's like, with a movie like this is not your regular... these actors are tasked with being super cringe, where it's like... I feel like that's a skill in itself.
They have to have so many bloopers.
The outtakes and the bloopers. Yeah, dude, I can't even imagine.
I'm surprised they didn't put bloopers at the end of the movie because
should. Well,
they have to have so many keeping a straight face.
I know. I can't even imagine.
When Connor O'Malley's yelling things
Connor
like,
O'Malley's so good, yeah.
"We should still be in Afghanistan" or whatever he said, like, dude, like
Yeah.
I would be bursting out laughing in every single. If I was acting in this movie, I would not have been able to keep a straight face.
Nope. All right,
So you give it a 9 out of 10.
I give it a 9. 9 out of 10.
Now he's a super fan.
super
guys.
fan,
He's a
super biased,
fan,
and that's
super
what I'm saying.
biased.
I'm not as far as what I recommended to a friend. Only if I knew they were a fan, I would not recommend it.
I'm
to.
gonna I'm
Yeah.
gonna approach this as an average viewer, right? And so, when we left the theater, it was kind of awkward because you were super hyped up.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like,
He was not.
I
He was
don't know
not
if I
hyped
can
up.
recommend this
No,
to anybody,
he
dude.
said straight up said that. We weren't
I
out of
don't
the
know
theater
if I
yet.
can recommend this movie to
Still in the
anybody
auditorium and he's
that
saying
does
that
not love Tim Robinson.
Which is fair.
Yeah,
Which
because
is fair.
this movie is a hard pill to swallow unless you like taking hard pills.
Tim, are you all right? Are you choking?
You know what I mean? Like, this is one of those flicks. So I'm gonna give it a 7. It was still good.
Hey,
it was
that's
still
still
good.
solid. Honestly, that's
It was still
solid.
good. It was still good.
That's still a great
I
score.
would give it a higher score if I was not approaching it as a regular viewer. I feel like a regular viewer is either going to give it a 6, okay, or a 7, good.
Yeah.
They aren't going higher than a 7, though, because it's just a little too awkward of a comedy style that may not work in a 2-hour format.
And also for people who haven't been exposed to that.
Yeah, because he does some callbacks too. I think you should.
He does,
like
absolutely.
with how he says things,
Like certain
or like just little
mannerisms and,
gimmicks.
Like, gimmicks. Yeah, there we
yeah,
go.
you know what
The
I mean.
gimmicks.
Like having his coffee too full and him walking
It's all
through
these
the whole
small,
office.
awkward things where
yeah,
he's
it's
like
just awkward,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And so if you don't know what this comedy is, you're gonna give it a 6. A 7 at the highest.
I was
you
gonna
know
say
what I
even
mean?
maybe 6 tops for some
Yeah,
people. But
dude, because it's weird, dude. It's awkward.
weird.
I enjoyed it though. I enjoyed it, and literally every joke hit.
I was gonna say every joke landed.
Literally every joke
Because
hit. In our theater, every joke hit.
Yeah.
Not for the 2 out of 10 girl,
No.
but every
there was
joke
enough
hit,
uproar
dude.
that we could hear it from
Yes.
like rows back. We could
Yes,
hear it.
dude,
Yeah.
and extended laughter. It wasn't like a chuckle.
No.
These were like belly laughs, like
and ones that you keep thinking about the joke and then you continually laugh.
Yes,
after
dude.
like the next scene is
like we
happening.
would whisper to each other and just like start laughing again off of
Yeah.
something that happened the scene before.
Yep.
So this movie is definitely for the fans. If you are a fan of I Think You Should Leave or Tim Robinson in general, you will love this movie.
You'll love it.
This movie is a 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
But
for those people.
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. So we'll 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10, that's fair.
We're going 8 out of 10 on this movie. All right, 8 out of 10. This movie is great. This is a great comedy, in the vein of buddy comedies from yesteryear, but just a little tinge of cringe.
Yes.
a little tinge
a
of
little
cringe
tinge
in
of
there.
cringe.
A little
I like
tinge
it.
of cringe in there. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
A little
yeah.
dash of.
We need some cringe in every once in a while. Like let's make people a little more uncomfortable in
Yeah,
theaters
dude. It's
with
uncomfortable.
comedy.
It's an
uncomfortable comedy.
It's an uncomfortable comedy that is a fun watch. It's
Yeah.
good. It's enjoyable. You're gonna like it.
It's gonna be a cult classic.
Go see it.
Eventually, especially for the fans, but maybe
This
even
is
for-
definitely going to be a cult classic.
Yes.
Once it's actually streaming or available to buy or to
I feel like
rent
it's
or
gonna be
whatever,
the number one stream
this
thing
is going
for a
to
while.
be a cult comedy, dude.
Yes,
Just like
cult
Cable
comedy.
Guy
Yes.
did not do good in theaters, but then like 5-10 years later, it's a cult classic for Jim Carrey
Yeah.
fans. This will be that same thing. This
Yep.
is a new Cable Guy.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm Cude.
I'm JC. Thanks for watching.
And this is friendship, dude.
Friendship. This is what it looks like.
I
Not
didn't hit-
another one.
I didn't hit him that time.
He didn't do it that
I
time.
didn't hit him that time. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
You better like and subscribe, dude, because if you don't like and subscribe, I don't know.
You don't like us? Is that why?
You don't like us? That's why you don't like us, dude? Because you're not subscribed? Just yell. This comedy
Hit
is
that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit every button that has to hit.
just yell, dude. Comedy.
That'll help.
All right. Thanks. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks.
All right. Bye. Bye now.
See ya. Oh, my balls.
Welcome back. Welcome back, buddy. So we're talking
You're just
about.
wanting an intro.
So
huh?
we're talking about the new Tim Robinson, Paul Rudd movie. Are you good?
I think you should
I did
leave.
hit you. I did hit you.
I think you should leave.